back, everybody, to the High Roller Organization Sports Betting Podcast. Today, what T and I are going to talk about is the bets to win each one of the conferences. We're going to start with that, give you our opinions on what we feel the best future bet is, maybe in the conference. Might pick some chalk along the way, but we'll also maybe give you an idea of who could sneak in and disrupt, or some way where you can make money on somebody other than the chalk. Let's move on to the SEC. Us folks in Big Ten country like to call it the second best football conference in America. All you SEC folks, that was T who said that. Send all your hate mail to him. Paul Feinbaum, don't give me a call. I'm all right. I respect the SEC quite a bit. T, what are your thoughts on the SEC here today?
You got Alabama, you got Georgia. And then there's a drop, and there's a reason why Alabama is minus 150, Georgia's plus 110, and then the next team with the next best odds is Texas A&M at plus 1200.
Yep.
I mean, you've got the two teams that are good. Georgia's going to reload.
Yeah.
Alabama's got the best player in the country in Anderson. I mean,
got the returning Heisman Trophy winner in Young.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I like Alabama, but I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball at you here, T. I truly believe in this, how I have it predicted. You're going to have both Alabama and Georgia undefeated going into the SEC championship game. That's how I have it predicted. But what's intriguing, and this is where you got to look at the odds, and sometimes you got to play the management on this one. Texas A&M at plus 1,200. Man, that's intriguing, because I think the only game they lose in the regular season is to Alabama. Now, as a former coach, sometimes you look at these games like this when you come in as an underdog. If we played these guys 10 times, we might go 3-7 against them. I think Texas A&M wins 3 games out of 10 against Alabama. Okay. That's how I've got it predicted. That's the difference I see. Okay, they win 30% of the time. If they beat Alabama, they're going to be playing in the SEC championship game, and at a plus 1,200 ticket, when they square off against Georgia, they're not going to be plus 1,200. It might be plus 600, might be plus 400, but I don't think they'll be plus 1,200. Once again, there's your opportunity to sell a ticket on that secondary market. You can make some money, and you can make good money, I think, on Texas A&M. That's something I'm going to take a look at here on futures. Just that number for a team that good. Texas A&M, in my opinion, is one of the top. They're a top 10 team in the nation, and I'm thinking they might be 6 or 7, quite honestly, in the nation when it's all said and done. So with that, to get a plus 1,200 ticket, just even if their odds go down slightly and you can sell that ticket before they play Alabama, okay, and make a little bit of money. Once again, the theory behind what we do is to make money. It's not to lose money. So I'm not here to say you should take a parlay and take the parlay of Texas A&M beating both Alabama, and then Georgia. I'm not saying that at all, but maybe they can pull that upset against Alabama. Or maybe you find a better number and you can sell your ticket on the secondary market and make money. Couple different ways to look at this, but that's how I'm treating it. I might be tempted to put a little cash on plus 1,200 on Texas A&M.
So I like Texas A&M. I have them as the 10th best team in the country this year.
Okay.
When they go to Alabama, I've got them as just shy of a 20-point dog.
Okay. Well,
that's where I've got the number.
Yeah. Uphill battle. Not saying it's not going to be.
Texas A&M not returning their quarterback is...
They got a good kid in, though. I forget the young man's name that transferred in there.
Max Johnson is projected to be their starting quarterback.
Okay.
He's Max Johnson. He's the he transferred from LSU.
Yeah.
So
yeah, got one of the many people that flew on LSU and in the transfer portal, and,
So
and good for them. I'm all about transfer portal and being able to move and going where you want to go. Especially, with the new coach coming in, even though it's Chip Kelly, and I got a lot of respect for Chip Kelly, but that's with all the transfers they lost. That's why I'm not here to talk about LSU. When the SEC comes around, quite honestly, I think it's those three teams. I mean, a surprise team for me that you may want to look at, and we may do a separate show just based on win totals in the conferences, but I kind of really like South Carolina. I think Spencer Rattler has a high ceiling. I think he's going to have a chip on his shoulder. And the way I rate teams and how I rank them, quarterbacks play a big part of that. And I think he's a good quarterback. I think a new start is exactly what he needed. And I think the SEC East is very good, but not great. You've got Georgia, and I think Georgia runs the table. But then you've got a Kentucky. I think Tennessee is way overrated. And with them facing sanctions, I think that's going to hang over their head the entire year. I think you're going to have a lot of kids, hearing through the grapevine, I got to transfer out of here because they're going to be sanctioned. I can't play in a bowl game. Or is the NCAA going to start coming after NIL money? There's a lot of things that are out there in the nebulous that are working against Tennessee right now. So I'm just not a big believer in them. And I like Florida. I like Napier. I like Florida. I like the way he played at Louisiana. But I'm a power run guy with a play action pass. I think that's winning football, and I like what Napier does and with the folks he's going to have. But I think South Carolina could win some games over there. What are your thoughts?
The SEC is tough because they've got the teams at the top, but then they've got so much talent on the rosters in the middle. I mean, and you don't know what LSU is going to come with.
Yeah.
They lost a ton of guys. They bring in a ton of guys.
Yeah.
Their defensive line looked phenomenal early in the spring. We'll have to see what happens with them. So when you're talking win totals for you've mentioned South Carolina, to me one of the things that regarding that one is they got to play Georgia.
Yeah.
They got to play Texas A&M.
Yeah, that's a loss.
They end the year with Clemson.
And that's probably going to be a loss.
So now you're looking at the teams that are kind of in the middle there, the Floridas. They go to Gainesville.
Yeah.
Kentucky. They go to Kentucky.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to beat somebody
on the road. Yeah.
That will, Tennessee at home. The thing about Tennessee is they put up points.
Yeah.
They put up a ton of points.
Yeah.
Or they did a year ago. But we'll see. South Carolina, I like South Carolina. But I've just got
What
them
is their win total they need to get to?
South Carolina is 6.
Yeah. And see, I've got them going 8-4 regular season. So that being said, and I think that might be a bet for me. You might not see the value in it. And I understand, but South Carolina I think could be one of those sleeper teams in the SEC. And the other thing, what you're not going to hear from T&I is talking about some of the teams that are on the bottom. We're just not going to spend time on it. I think they're as far as for winning the SEC or winning the Big Ten, they're just our teams that they just don't have a chance. That's reality. We're here to make you money, not lose money. If I could bet on them not winning the SEC, I'd have a lot of money on Vanderbilt. It'd probably be minus 50,000 to 1.
That's what they are to win the SEC. So
exactly.
It would be
it would be the flip
250,000.
Yeah. So you're not going to win any money on it, but that's the type of thing. That's why, no offense to you guys, and hope you show up on time to the games, but just not going to pull
with
it
those
out.
teams, it comes more down to their win total. Vanderbilt, their win total is 2.5. They're not expected to compete for the SEC title. Can they win a couple games?
Can they pull a couple games out in the non-conference?
They start the year at Hawaii, and then they play Elon at home.
Yeah.
Week 4, they go to Northern Illinois. There's your 3. If they beat those teams in the non-conference.
Yeah.
Now, do I think they're gonna cover a number at Hawaii. We've already talked about that game a little bit in
Yeah.
a previous podcast.
Yeah, we'll see.
But and then there's your 3. They're overs 2.5, and that's if they don't win a single SEC game.
Which I don't think they're winning a single SEC game. So
yeah, I've only got them as a 50-point dog if they play at Alabama. They do play at Alabama.
Play at Alabama. I don't know if we'll get a line on that game, but if we do, I mean that's. Yeah, Alabama's winning that game, and it's just once again,
50.
Some of the numbers once again that we throw out. These are areas where you can shop around because these are areas where you'll see differences from book to book. So make sure you get the best line on those two. I mean that's real important because you can save yourself some money in the long run. Just getting a half game here, half game there. All of a sudden, a team's 9.5 win total down to 9 or 8.5.
Usually, those numbers won't move
yeah,
much.
they
It's
won't
more the
move
juice.
much, but it's more the juice, like T said, and I think you can find a few different numbers out there.